Hello, hello, welcome back to some Path of Exile. This is Doryani's Machinarium, which I've never been to. This is an option that Kirak gave me to go and explore a random map. I used one of the, what do you call them? The reports? Yeah, I used the scouting report I found to generate some more interesting missions from him, and he's sent me here. Which I could have found anyway. I mean, you know, I could have tripped across Doryani because I could have found that map most likely from here, but I didn't. Relatively rare to find such things. So yes, here we are, and I've never been here before, so I thought I'd record it. I did take a sneak preview on the wiki as to what the general idea is, because unique maps are always a little bit on the novel side. Okay. Oh, I see. Oh, it's one of these. Not too fond of these. It's one of the reasons that I'm doing it, having just leveled, because if I die, this will not cost me as much. So far so good, you know. Okay. Just tidy up. Your pyramid. Don't need a stick. There's an 84 thicket bow. Got a nice bow. Don't need a sword. I'm not going to be needing that. Take the sextant. Not that I have any thing I can put sextants on right now. And I'm going to go for fire damage all the way through. Cool. Increased duration has leveled. Oh, good. I got my third attempt at a level 20 arrow, explosive arrow.
My mana is spent.
So I shall look forward to trying to get a level 21 again for the third time. Right. Now what do we have? That's a tier 15. Not bad. I'm running a bit low on tier 16 maps, which is one of the reasons that I'm doing these Kirak missions, because once you're in red and you've done tier 16, he always gives you a tier 16, which is jolly decent of him. In theory, these tier 16s, and this is one, monster level 83, this is as high as it gets. Of course, the map mods can be a lot worse than this. Unique maps don't tend to be as cruel as some random maps tend to be. This is reasonably relaxing so far. I'm just pressing totem. Occasionally shooting something to get a buff. Nice. Shoot them. And that. Also this. Yeah, augment it with more fire. Okay. So they're just going to keep popping up, are they? Well, fine. Now, we seem to have left some stragglers. Pastoral Tax is leveled, and Combustion's now level 20. That's nice. Summit. Used that to trade in for flask quality. I've been fixing various things. I'll get into that after this, but I've been fixing flasks and equipment and... Oh, Jesus. I wasn't expecting that. Oh, no. Oh, this is going to suck. Ah, shit. I hate these labyrinth trial style death levers. Seem to be doing too badly so far. Oh, that was close. Jesus. Absolute fuckers. There would have to be one really shitty section to it. There's clearly someone at PoE HQ who thinks that those levers are exceptionally cool. Okay, so I deduce that we must have to go upstairs now. I mean, I presume that's the idea. Okay, so we're going to get a Val 3-arm mechanism guy, except this one's going to be on fire a lot. Take your time. I can wait. His special loot. And stilling orb, that's nice. And a scepter I don't want. Well done, chaps. You can leave us now. Cool. Well, that was quite fun. Good music. Yeah. Do I want any of this crap that drops here? I mean, I'm rather doubting it. Power ring. Nope, it's rubbish. That's rubbish. Okay. Not particularly then. Right, excellent. Well, how jolly. What did we get from the nice machine? Doryani's Delusion. Purity of Fire. Level 25, that's not bad. Oh, it adds fire damage. Oh, what a dumbass. No, that I can't use that. I can't use that at all. If I add flat fire damage to my build, then my elemental equilibrium won't work. EE, yes. Because I'd end up giving things fire resistance accidentally. Well, that's disappointing. Shame. Because otherwise that could have been quite cute. I guess it might be rather good. They would be rather good on a build that isn't using elemental equilibrium. Or, you know, multi-element build. I mean, well, but then do you want purity of fire? Or do you want purity of elements? I mean, they're nice. But presumably, if you go for the lightning version, you get purity of lightning. Then you also can't use EE. You'd need an elemental non-EE build. I guess. Every day we choose safety or knowledge. Live and stagnate or risk death for truth. I would rather see the end of the Varl than help it tread water, said Doryani, the Queen's thaumaturgist. Thaumaturgist. Whatever. Okay. Flask for the collection. Yup. Whatever. Taproot. I don't know if I've got that. It's not very good. Taproot. 77. 85. Okay.
Hello.
Hello. Might I want 2 taproots for some reason? I suppose. If I was fiddling around with another build, I might want to do a pair of taproots. Probably not. Well, it's got maim on hit. Bits and pieces. I mean, you know. I tend to keep things I might want 2 of, or just this axe because I think it looks cool. Stupid reason to store a unique 3 times, because I've got one in the collection as well. Yeah, I once tried to make a build using that. It went badly. Simple. Yeah, but we've been making some... oh yeah, we got a passive point. Do we want to spend it somewhere? Possibly. I've done harvest. What do I want to spend that on? What was I going to do next? Oh, was I going to go for... Yeah, I think I was going up to 1 additional black boss. Plus 1 tier. Let's just buy that light mod. That sounds like a good idea. I've nearly run out of opportunities to get more points. So, yeah, I suppose into a quick summary of where we are since I've landed here. Atlas completion's going well. We are only 2 maps off total completion, and that's Ober's Cursed Trove and the Vinctor Square, which we haven't been to either of, but I've been to every other unique map except the Hall of Champions, or whatever it's called, which doesn't appear on the Atlas and doesn't count and is apparently harsh, so I'll probably skip, but it's not, it doesn't count anyway. Yeah, so we've got pretty much a full Atlas, just need to find those 2 unique maps, which hopefully Kirak will turn up eventually, or I'll get drops for them. I could run Underground Sea and Courtyard a lot. I quite like running Courtyard anyway. I could get some div cards. So yeah, that's an option. Could possibly even favourite Courtyard. It's not a terrible idea. We seem to have picked up more favourites. I don't quite... I know one of them is for a tier 16 map, and one of them is for a... I guess one of them must have been for a Guardian of... for an Elder Guardian, because I've killed one of those. And one of them was for a Conqueror of the Atlas, because I killed Baron. And I don't know what the other one before, because I didn't think I'd done anything impressive. I'd like to go fight Cirrus, but I just don't think I've got the DPS yet. I mean, technically you can. The thing is that he's at Awaken at 8, I think, now. Always. You can't tone him down, and I found Awakener 8 to be just very difficult. Plus, I don't have immunity to corrupted blood, so I mean, that's going to go badly. I vaguely have a clue who Venarius is because I looked him up once, but I've never met him. I think I might have beaten Elder by himself, but he doesn't appear in this list. I don't think I've ever beaten Shaper. I've never done Uber Elder. Never actually done the Maven, not all the way to the end. And I haven't seen the new 2 bosses yet. I've only seen 1 Guardian, and I sure as hell haven't done the Feared. It's nasty. And I've done that shit. I've got an invitation to the Feared, I think, have I? Or I've got an invitation to somebody else. The Forgotten. Yeah. So yeah, we've got an invitation to that. But yeah, so Atlas completion's going pretty well. In terms of bosses, like endgame bosses, we are not even getting started, really. Just working on getting started. Gear-wise, I made a few improvements. I was disappointed to discover that I've enchanted these flasks, so they're auto-used when I hit a rare or unique enemy. Unfortunately, that doesn't apply, apparently, to totem hits, so I actually have to do it myself, which, given I don't have Pierce, is somewhat irritating, and I don't want Pierce anyway, because that would apply to the totems. Sigh, unless I actually somehow put Pierce on this skill, which I possibly could. Maybe I could. Maybe there's a Pierce support I could put on instead of faster attacks, which actually isn't a terrible idea now I think about it. Pierce. Fork. Fork and don't pierce it. Pierce support. Pierce 2 additional targets. That would actually not be a terrible idea. I don't know why we've got this faster attack support. That was the recommended one. I might actually swap that out for a Pierce. Yeah. Because it's literally just attack speed on supported skills. I don't need that to be that fast. So we might do that. But yes, I was disappointed that the flasks, excuse me, don't actually trigger on totem attacks, which is rather irritating. And you can't have castman damage taken on flasks, which is frankly irritating. I could tie them to my life flask, that's one option. If I wanted to change the key that I use for Quicksilver, I could tie these 2 as adjacent flasks, and then I wouldn't have to keep redoing them if I change my mind. But I'd like having 3 on that. I guess I could rebind the flask keys alternatively. I could actually make, 1, 2, 4, 5 and put 3 on the end. I hadn't thought of that before. It's not a bad idea. I assume I can do that. Input. Yep. Yep, that's actually quite a good idea. I could just swap 2 and 3. Although that would be confusing to look at. But if I'm not pressing the buttons, it doesn't matter. It's a little bit awkward. Anyway. But yeah, so I'm going to need to redo that at some point, which is a shame because these enkindling orbs and instilling orbs that one uses to set these auto-use effects on flasks are still vanishingly rare. Maybe I can get them from the Archnemesis currency mechanic. I don't know. I suspect not very often. But I could see if I can build towards one of these sort of currency fountains instead of unique fountains. That might help. Anyway, flasks have generally been improved a bit. I've dropped my Lion's Roar flask, much as I thought it looked cool, because I think I'm actually going to get a better effect out of this flask, which is not exactly what the build recommends, but I kind of like it. It's not flagellating, so it doesn't recover charges when I get hit, but it does just get charges faster, and it lasts a decent time, and I get a lot more armor during it, which is pretty nice. And yeah, this Jade flask I've swapped in instead of the previous one. So yeah, that actually, that's got a fairly random suffix. These are all random rolls. I've just been spamming them with currency to change up what they did. And I switched out my Chaos Resist flask for now, just in favour of a spell suppression phasing flask, because that seemed like a generally good idea. The idea was that these would all trigger at the same time, whenever my totem shot something cool, but that's obviously not going to happen, so we'll survive. And I boosted this. I've actually gone for slower recovery of a vast amount of life, which isn't ideal. Ideally you want quick recovery, but quick recovery nerfs the amount you get. I actually quite like getting a lot of life back, and I need some sort of bleed immunity and corrupted blood immunity, so that's the best I've got there, is having it on the health flask. Still wouldn't be any good for Cirrus because his corrupted blood effects are so fast, the odds of actually able to press a key are relatively limited, plus, yeah, time. But yeah, so that's pretty good. Happy with that. I've also made some slightly major gear changes. So I've been repeatedly running June missions for the Syndicate, in order to find veiled items from the Syndicate assholes, and I've been because that unveils crafts, and so I now have rather more crafts than I did. Notably, I have this minion attack and cast speed craft, that one, and I stuck the expensive variant on this bow instead of the attack in the presence of rare or unique enemies, because the percentage is actually better anyway, and it works all the time. And it works all the time because we have the increase in reductions to minion attack speed also affect you node on the tree, so that's jolly nice. That's just per build. So this bow is better. I still want a couple of things to change on here. I would like to have attack speed native on the bow instead of that completely useless +3 life on kill, or instead of the stun duration. I mean, the stun duration, because I don't stun people, would be a good thing to get rid of. It's very unlikely that I can add this to this bow. I don't really want to give up this bow because it's very good, so I'm half tempted by the idea of making another one. So I've been in the background sort of collecting porcupine cards again. I'm up to 3 of 6, so I could get another level 50 6-link short bow. I'd have to recolor it, and I've been recollecting Essences of Dread again. We're up to 5 Shrieking, which is not bad. It's very slow compared to others, but yeah, so I might just have a second go at this. I got, I suppose, marginally lucky in a harvest area, and I got this quality increases accuracy. I'd rather that was quality increases attack speed per the build, because that would be better. So the build is not best in the slot, yet, but it's pretty tasty. I've actually bothered to quality up my items, which I hadn't done before because I'm a dumbass, so everything that can have quality now does, that can't because it's corrupted. I'm still working on a slightly better Eater of Worlds implicit. I'm just applying them at random to see what I get. I quite like the extra fire res, that's proving useful from the Searing Exarch implicit. And these are just from currencies you find, and then you just click on the item and it'll swap out one of those 2 modifiers without affecting the others. So that's quite neat. And yeah, that enchant, the attack and cast speed enchant on there, that was from the Labyrinth. That was just from my my 4th Labyrinth, which I used to unlock the last set of 2 Ascendancy passives, because you do 4 labs to get 2, 4, 6, 8, 2 each. Yeah. That's where that's from. Those boots, I think I just did I find? Either found or harvest, can't remember. Those, of course, I found, made, and I've been, this could still be improved. I would like this to be a better hat, but it's such a good hat, that's quite tricky. I really do like the random Exarch and Eater of Worlds implicits on that one. An increased mana reservation is really nice. That means I can actually have my 4 auras and I can still cast spells. The extra mana regen from the Ascendancy nodes on the passive tree is proving really handy for that, because I can, you know, I can spam these totems and I don't run out of mana, which is crazy really, given that I've only got 65. The rest is reserved by my auras. Determination, precision, grace. You can't see them because I've cosmetically removed them. I should be covered in clouds, but I don't like any of that shit, so I turned it off. If I could get rid of these frickin' charge balls, I'd be even happier, but there isn't a cosmetic for that, which is irritating, but that's fine. So, yeah, so quite happy with this hat. It's good life, it's some resist, it's decent evasion, it's not perfect. Ideally it should be armor and evasion, and yeah, just more relevant stats, and the resist could be higher, you know, but it's alright. I've now done this work on the amulet. I found that I was about 36 strength and 1 point of dex short of what I needed for all the gems at the level that they are, because each gem ends up adding dex or strength requirements. So yeah, like that one needs 155 strength, that one needs 155 dex. So yeah, I was slightly short. So I'm using a strength dex amulet, and I just spammed it with increased evasion essences. Yeah, I spammed it with these, with shriekings, because I had a big stack. I now have a small stack. I just spammed it with those, so I always got the evasion increase, and I got random other stats, and I just kept rolling until I got something good, which I did. I then slapped the fire resistance on at the crafting bench, and I have done anoint the panopticon. You probably know what that means. In case you don't, that means that I have this panopticon node on the talent tree, despite the fact that I haven't gone there, because that has certain oil colours associated with it, as does every notable passive. They have unique colours, and if you collect these oils by doing the blight missions, these oils, then you can stick an item in the slot, like, I don't know, anything, and then you can actually anoint it with something. So, and I've picked a ring, which isn't very smart, because rings are always going to give you a blight related modifier, but if we actually picked an amulet, say, if I can find the tab again, yeah, so that would give us depth perception if we wanted it, or that would give us Firewalker. And you can find those on the tree, because I can find Firewalker. Where are you, Firewalker? It's going to be around here somewhere. Firewalker. Earth to Firewalker. I'm missing it, aren't I? Aha! There we are, Firewalker. And holding Alt. Yeah, purple, red, black. So, and the order doesn't matter, so I can go black, purple, red, you know. Yeah, so that's what we did there. So, fairly happy with that. It's not the absolute best, but it's pretty great. I mean, we got quite lucky rolling increased armor and increased evasion, and that's global. That's not on this amulet. That's the whole thing. So that's really good, because my defenses could do with a boost. I need the res, need the attributes, wanted Panopticon. So that was pretty nice. Because I got Panopticon, and Panopticon increases totem damage and increase the totems that I could summon by 1, I was actually able to get rid of the quiver I was using, if I can find my quivers, because I was using Skirmish, which was a lucky drop, which gave me +1 totems. So I didn't need that anymore, because I didn't need 8 totems, because we are, after all, 7 gun jack. So, yeah, so I've actually rolled up a decent quiver. That was just with attack speed essence, so it's not the highest possible attack speed, but it's not bad. Attack speed essence being attack speed. Those, I just spammed it with Shrieking Essence of Zeal. And of course I got all of those Zeal because I have been specialising in Essence here. So yeah, I picked all these nodes from completing maps, gives you points. Come in here, spend the points on the nodes, then when I run a map, I always get an Essence, wherever that node is. It's in here somewhere. That's Chance of Essence. There's an Always Essence here somewhere. Yeah, there we go. I always get an Essence. More essences, double monsters, various higher tier essences. So yeah, that's how I have so many essences. But yeah, so spam this with Zeal until it showed up with a load of good stuff, which it did. The res was good, bit of bow damage is kind of okay. It's not the best roll I could have got. I briefly did get elemental damage with attacks, which I would have kind of preferred. I would have quite liked that, plus increased damage with bow skills, because just be a bigger bonus. But I crafted that on, so that worked fine, and we got a good life roll. So yeah, quite happy with that. It's not best in slot, but it's pretty damn good, relatively speaking. And because all of the possible attribute points are now coming from this amulet, which is something I really wanted, because I did have to I had gear, it was scattered all over gear, and it was making it very difficult. Like, this has strength on it, which I needed at that time, but I don't, so I could, fix that at some point, even though these are otherwise very good boots. But yeah, that freed me up from having any of that crap on these rings, so I've re-rolled these rings, and I didn't get what I was aiming for. I just rolled them with I think one of them I rolled with lightning damage. Yeah, so this one I spammed with attack lightning. Yeah, this one I spammed with all of the essences, both screaming and shrieking, of torment, because on jewelry that adds lightning damage to attacks. So I just spammed the hell out of it, and ended up with this set of stats, which is not actually that bad. I didn't order that like Radius, but it did come from that 20% increased global accuracy, which I really like, because I am a Hierophant class, and we do have accuracy issues, because we're supposed to be doing spells, I suppose. So yeah, increased accuracy, great. Light Radius came along, who cares? Some fire res, whatever. And we got damage taken recouped as life, which I do like. I like it on here as well, and I like it here. It's not the best, but it's alright. And I needed some source of added elemental damage, and so this ring was nominated that source. Plus some chaos res, because my chaos res is just awful. I mean, it's massively negative. I just didn't want it to be quite as negative. Last build I did, I had max chaos res. Not this time. Yeah, too much to buy. So yeah, I mean, the ring is okay. I'm quite pleased with the accuracy. I needed the lightning damage. I quite like the recoup. I needed a bit of fire res. So yeah, I mean, I'd like life on it. I don't need the ES on there, the energy shield, but whatever. It's better. It's better than it was. And this is pretty reasonable. Again, it's rolled accuracy, which is nice. It's rolled a damage increase, which is quite decent. Yeah, resistances, one of which I crafted on there. And I mean, these are good rolls. Yeah, that's tier 1, tier 1, tier 3. It's pretty good. And even those, I mean, okay, 2 of those are a bit ropier, but 2 tier 1s, it's tier 9 energy shield. If it was tier 1 ES, I still wouldn't care. My energy shield is 19. I guess that's all the energy shield I've got, is it? Pretty much. I've got 4 from somewhere. God knows where that's from. Something's given me 4 ES. Not sure, actually. It's somewhere. I must be just scrolling over it. Anyway. Yeah. So I've redone the jewellery. So the jewellery is better. It's better. I've got accuracy on both, which is rather nice. I mean, this thing isn't accurate. But offensively, tooltip says 95% accuracy, which is pretty good. I've had that as high as 99. Possibly by... oh no, I do have the auras on. But yeah, I've had that as high as 99. Oh yes. Oh no, not by doing that. Yeah, so it's pretty decent. It's better than it was. And our defences are pretty reasonable now. So, yeah, and we're overcapped on some resistances, so we've got scope to swap things out as well. Yeah, so fair few improvements there, really. Talent tree is proving a bit interesting. I'm still using the tree that I was using from early maps. There is a major respec, which is about 24 extra points to get down here to Panopticon. So rather than anointing it, you actually buy your way down through here, and as a result, dump all of this and then anoint watchtowers instead. That seems to be what the build guide recommends at the end game. You have to sacrifice some of this as well. It looks like it's probably a slight upgrade once the gear's ready for it. I'm not convinced there's a vast amount in it, but I could be wrong. So we may do that at some stage. I was debating a cluster jewel instead of some of this, but I'm not actually sure that it's going to give me much better a result. There are some nice fire damage cluster jewel nodes I was looking at, but yes, so yeah, so that's going reasonably. Main goals, I mean, we're level 92, 2 weeks into the league, which for me is pretty good. I would like to get to level 93. This seems to think that we're at 40 million XP an hour at the moment, even allowing for all the standing around I've just been doing. So several hours from now we might hit 93. I would really like that, so that's my immediate goal. That would be then the joint highest level character that I've actually had, because normally I lose interest at this point because it takes so long to get there. The main thing I have to do is just not die, because deaths at this level wipe out 10% of your XP, and that's, I mean, I just more or less was looking at it. I got about 3% XP from a tier 16 map with fairly average modifiers on it, you know, fairly average, etc, etc. So yeah, so that's over 3 maps of progress each single death, which I think is why I was capping out around this level before, because it does become increasingly challenging to level if you die at all. So yeah, if I want to do anything crazy challenging, I'd best do it literally next. Otherwise I'm going to start getting invested in upping this bar. I might go see if I can farm up some more of those porcupine cards, pick up some more essences of dread. That would be nice. See if I can make myself a better bow. That would be good. Yeah, we need the level. I could do with doing an import into Path of Building to compare my stats, because I'm still way below the damage that this build should be able to do. So yeah, but that's a topic for another video, methinks. Anyway, that's enough of rambling. Yes, let's go kill some more things. In the meantime, farewell.